The only thing worse than being lonely and single is to be lonely and married. And a lot of people who are searching for a spouse understand this, and they're working really hard to avoid this predicament. So they ask me all the time, how much connection should there be during the talking stage? Because they're trying to have a talking stage in a halal context. So let's find out.
Let's find out.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the Muslim Marriage Podcast, where we show you how to find and build a healthy marriage as a Muslim. I'm Zahra Hassan.
And I'm AJ, and we've been married for 4 years.
And before we get started, so just to answer last week's question, for the little quiz time of what are the two things that you need in order to make a marriage work. Number one, you need a partner that is invested in your well-being and invested in your marriage. And number two, you need really good, effective communication skills.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for the quiz time for next week, is going to be building on that. When we talk about communication skills, I'm mostly talking about conflict resolution. So, what are the 5 steps of discussion we talk about almost every other episode? So that'll be the question for next week's quiz time.
Wonderful.
All right, so now let's get started. So this week's episode is entitled Lack of Connection During the Talking Stage. So before we actually get to the question, how much connection do you think is okay? How much connection is too much and how much is too little?
I think 80% connection is the perfect amount.
Specifically 80%?
Yeah, 80% connection.
So what does that look like?
It means that the guy in the relationship has the opportunity to recede into his man cave for personal time.
Mm-hmm. I mean during the talking stage.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh.
Yeah, we're on the same boat here.
What man caves are there in the talking stage?
Well, you know how like sometimes someone would be like, he hasn't called me in 2 hours. I'm thinking of leaving him.
Oh.
And the guy has to be like, sorry, I was asleep.
All right, so that's very... It happened one time. It's been 4 years. At some point, you gotta let it go.
Oh, I have let it go, yeah.
Okay, I can tell.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, all right. So, but seriously though, because on so many episodes before, you've very correctly said that we need to be careful to limit the amount of communication, right?
Yeah.
So that it's within the bounds of Islam.
Yeah.
And therefore, if you're limiting communication, it follows that connection would be somewhat limited.
Yeah.
So that the connection that you're going to experience in a situation of getting to know somebody within the bounds of Islam is different from the connection you experience outside of the bounds of Islam.
Yeah.
So generally, how would you conduct yourself? Like, what is this communication and connection level that you think what would a talking stage look like?
Business casual.
Very formal?
Yeah.
All right, I like that. Okay, so let's get into the question, inshallah, and hopefully we'll be able to come up with a more specific guidelines, inshallah, according to our understanding. Right? Just according that disclaimer is on everything that we put. Everything's according to our understanding as regular practicing Muslims, right? So here's the question coming from the Muslim Marriage subreddit. A sister says, Assalamu alaikum. I have been getting to know a man for 4 months with serious intention toward marriage. He is respectful, kind, responsible, and consistent. He checks in and plans our meetings, but he hasn't had much experience with relationships and comes across as shy and hesitant. The challenge is that our conversations stay surface level and factual. I don't feel much warmth, humor, or emotional connection. By emotional connection, I mean kind words, shared feelings, thoughtful compliments, or checking in on how my day went. I've told him this really matters to me and I need it in a relationship. And while he's listened and tried in small ways, it still feels distant and unnatural. I'm comfortable around him, but I don't feel closeness or excitement. I also worry that this will make it hard in the future to develop the emotional and affectionate connection needed between a husband and wife. His lack of verbal warmth makes me wonder if he's genuinely attracted to me or if he's just relieved to have someone considering him as a potential spouse. I'm unsure if I'm asking for too much and have given myself another month and a half to observe and decide. But I also wonder if I've already made up my mind and I'm just struggling to accept it because of my age and how much I really just want to get married. Has anyone been in a similar situation where the emotional aspect never really clicked? Did it eventually grow and work out after marriage? Or was it a sign to move on from the start? Any advice would be greatly appreciated. So, what are your thoughts?
I mean, it depends.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that she is asking a lot of him, and she's not really understanding his language because he seems to be trying
Yeah.
in other aspects, right?
Yeah.
Perhaps aspects that he's comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
I think there is also that the fact that they're not married,
Yeah.
and so things should be toned down. It seems like she's looking for a boyfriend. That's the feeling I'm getting.
Yeah. That's the honestly, I went down and I read into the comments in this section, and a lot of people agree with you. But with the sister's responses, that's not the impression that I'm getting, right? I think that what she's asking for here is valid, and she's asking for how much connection should I be expecting to in a talking stage, like how much is too much and how much is too little. And she's concerned at what point is it too little and might be an indication that this individual might not be like their marriage might not work out.
To me,
Yeah,
I think that she should stop pursuing him because it seems like she's looking for someone who has a different love language than what he has.
It could be.
So I think even when they do get married, he's still going to be expressing his love language in the ways he already is.
Yeah.
And he's not, I don't think he's going to change. So if she's looking for someone who's type A, but she has type B, then she should let him go.
I see what you're saying. There might be an incompatibility here.
I feel like there would be, yeah.
Yeah, which is her concern.
Yeah.
That's her concern.
Because when you and I were in the talking stage, we would talk on the phone.
Yeah, we would.
Yeah.
Right? Because, I had been married before, you had been married before. And both of our parents were well aware of what was going on. But we just wanted to make sure we were making the right decision the second time around. So we made a part of that is connection and understanding whether or not that connection is there. So I understand what she's asking. This is why communication is so important. That's why there's a reason I chose this question, right?
Yeah.
Because it feels I think a lot of the people in the comments also misunderstood her, right? She is trying to express what she's looking for, but hasn't expressed it accurately. Yeah. I think what she's asking for is about capacity, not so much as connection, right? She is worried about whether or not this individual has the capacity to be able to build a happy, healthy marriage with her, so that if she had the information on that, listen, this gentleman here is just holding back because he's trying to maintain a certain level of boundaries outside during the talking stage. But once you get married, he's very open and very affectionate and everything's going to be okay. She would have no problem with how everything is going and she would say yes. That's the impression that I'm getting, right? So her concern is not so much as what she's experiencing now, the lack of what she's experiencing now. Her concern is about what does that indicate for what she should expect in the future.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? So what she's asking about is, how am I supposed to assess capacity, right? And how am I supposed to assess connection? And specifically when assessing connection, how much connection should there be? So the guideline that I give, the general guideline that I give, in a healthy talking stage, when you're in a talking stage with somebody who the connection is good, it will. And I think I put Instagram post about it recently with this exact sentence. If somebody wants to go and check there for a reminder, but it will feel like very boring, but very comfortable.
I think that
Yeah,
it's not possible for men to ever understand women
of course.
in any capacity.
And likewise.
Especially the men who are married to their wives.
Are you trying to
right?
tell me something?
Yeah, actually, I am. The second that you and your misunderstand each other, then you've misunderstood each other.
Oh, there you go. I knew there was some. See, the thing, ironically, is I understood that you were going to bring that, but there was a joke coming. That was the
Yeah,
irony
you saw
of
the
it.
gleam in my eyes.
Yeah, so I understood. I didn't miss. I understood. I think the point was taken. I don't want to over-explain it.
Let's get started.
But yeah. So hopefully that makes sense. Where in a healthy talking stage, things will feel relatively boring, but comfortable. And she did mention that she feels comfortable around him, right?
Yeah.
But she says, but I don't feel the closeness or excitement. So there's a difference between the two, closeness and excitement.
Closeness and excitement comes in after marriage, though.
There's a certain level of closeness that she's talking about. And the one with respect to excitement, that's the one that I think specifically comes after marriage.
Yeah.
And if you are in a talking stage with somebody, and we've had multiple episodes on this, where the primary feature is the excitement, that's not something that's organic. It's most likely being manufactured, and there's a chance that you might be speaking to somebody who is manipulating you.
Yeah.
Being manipulative, right? And manufacturing that excitement through strategies we've talked about in the past. But with respect to the closeness, she's saying that the level of closeness is at 0, and that could be a problem, right?
Yeah.
So being at 0 is a problem. Being at 100 is also a problem. What you're looking for is indications, right? You're looking for green lights when you're trying to figure out how much of a connection is appropriate in your conversations and in your interactions. There's sort of a coded language that the both of you speak, right? Especially as you get older and you get more you gain wisdom about the process and about how to speak without speaking. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Are there verdant tinted glasses?
I've never heard of the color verdant. This is
Verdant is like lush green.
Oh, okay.
Are there green tinted glasses
Probably.
that whatever green flags you see, you don't notice them?
Because everything looks green.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good. Yeah, actually, that's probably what most of us are wearing all the time. Right? Both men and women.
Sad.
It is, but that's where we come in, right? So that's the idea, inshallah, that the level of connection that you're looking for can be understood in the subtext, right? So this is because this is a little bit abstract and it's a bit of a skill. It's hard to give too many examples, right? There are some direct questions that you can ask, and we're going to go through those in a minute. But in general, the approach will be that you speak in a bit of a coded language to indicate that I'm like, there is more to me, right? There is a greater depth to me, and I understand what you're asking. But I'm adhering to the bounds of our religion.
Yeah.
And so this is how much I can say. This is how much interaction that we can have. And beyond that, it's not something I'm willing to go beyond, right? Yeah. So there's a way to conduct yourself, and there's a way to speak that gives those green lights.
Yeah. The way I've historically done it in the past.
Oh, okay.
To set my boundaries, I would simply say, "Away with you, vile woman."
Is that okay?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
usually they get the hint.
When you say historically, you meant genuinely historically.
Historically, yeah.
Yeah, or like prehistorically.
Well, yeah, I guess you could say I'm old.
But
I'm certainly getting up there in age.
And I meant with the language that you're choosing, it's that ye old English.
What about the language?
Okay.
What?
Okay, I got you. But hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. Like I've tried to think of examples. It's one of those. It's just, even if we were able to give examples, it's more of a skill than it is a list of phrases, right? So
Yeah.
it's very hard to embody. Um. So for instance, okay, actually, let me give one example. So for instance, let's say that somebody is on one of the matrimonial apps, and as a woman, and they have met an individual and they have started a talking stage with this individual on the apps, and it looks like that it's been a week, or so, and maybe 2 weeks, and it looks like a lot of the compatibility indicators you're looking for are lining up, and that this might be promising. However, this brother has not yet asked for to move on to whatever is the next stage. Usually the next stage is asking for a phone number, either for yourself or for your wali, right?
Yeah.
So what I would do, right? This is around the time when I met you, and I think you remember me asking you this. What I would do when I would get to that point is I would just say, okay, that everything makes sense so far. So you should ask me for my phone number.
Yeah.
So that's a way of giving a green light without making a demand. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That I'm looking for, like, that I'm okay with the next step happening,
Yeah.
while also leaving it up to the brother to decide whether or not they actually want to take that next
Frankly, I don't remember if I did ask you for your phone number.
No, you didn't.
Frankly, I don't remember anything
Yeah.
from back then.
No, I think because it went to that.
It was all a blur.
It was the Skynet. Do you remember Skynet?
Skype.
Yeah, where
Yeah.
I was making a comment about Skynet, because
that's right.
at that time AI was still an
That's when
idea.
it came up. Yeah.
Yeah, and AI was still a foreign concept, an
Yeah.
idea. And I had mentioned Skynet, and it auto corrected to Skype.
Yeah.
And you said, "Well, okay, all right. I'm okay
I
with."
downloaded Skype
Exactly.
right then and there.
And I said, no, I was not asking for a Skype. It was an autocorrect. But you know what? As long as we're here, you should ask me for my phone number, right?
Yeah.
So it's like that.
So that's when I said I already have your phone number.
How?
I have methods.
Okay, that would have changed the conversation.
But like that time that I did the claps.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I remember
and
that.
You thought it was the
no.
What's his name? Hannibal Lecter?
Hannibal Lecter. Oh, no. Please don't ever make any reference ever to anything from true crime or serial killers.
I was just
anything.
clapping.
Yeah.
And you thought it was the Hannibal Lecter?
I thought you were making a joke associated with that, and every single alarm bell went off in my mind, and I was just like...
For me, too. When you told me,
yeah,
I'm like, Hannibal Lecter? I haven't thought about that guy in years.
Those were interesting times. But the important thing from there is to the idea of this coded language. Okay, so I've spent too much time on it, but we're gonna, hopefully that concept is understood. Let's go on to direct questions and direct answers on how to actually start to assess capacity and to assess connection within this capacity more specifically, right? What do we mean by capacity? Is the ability of an individual to build a happy, healthy marriage with you specifically, right? We spoke about this many times, that capacity or that ability may or may not be there in every single person. There might be an issue with attachment style, which is what I suspect she's concerned about here. That that the person she's speaking to might be avoidant attachment. That's what she's worried about. There might be issues with mental health issues. A person might be going through a tough time in their life right now. They might be rebounding from a previous marriage. There could be a number of things that prevent them from being emotionally available, and or otherwise having the capacity to be able to form that connection, form that bond, and build a healthy marriage with you. Okay, so how do you assess this? There are a few questions that I have written down. Those are available in the compatibility guide. which details how you assess compatibility in general, and that's available for download in the description below. There, underneath in the last page of the compatibility guide, I give an actual table with the 7 different areas of compatibility that are the most important to assess.
Yeah.
And with specific questions and specific methods to actually assess compatibility in those areas.
Methods to the madness.
One of them is affection,
Mm.
right? And in that section for affection, I recommend that at some point in your talking stage, maybe not on day 1, maybe not on day 30, but at some point when you're developed, you're at least exclusive and you've developed enough of a rapport and you have talked about the big things that you're now, speaking to each other's families and you're moving along, right?
So the night before your marriage.
Okay, so not the night before marriage, but just a little bit sooner than that. And you're now ready to ask these questions about specifically affection. I think this is an important question that you should ask. You ask, on a scale of 1 to 10, how comfortable are you with showing affection? And on a scale of 1 to 10, how comfortable are you with receiving affection? And people tend to answer this as honestly as they can, right?
Yeah.
This is not a question that people pretend on.
It's
why
not a judgmental question.
Exactly. So that's why it's okay to ask this one as a direct question. And it'll give you an indicator. It'll give you an idea of where this person stands on that spectrum in comparison to you, right? So somebody who is more avoidant might say something like, I am very uncomfortable with receiving affection or showing affection, and they might give you lower numbers. And that gives you, they'll answer honestly. Or somebody, like, there's so many different reasons why a person might give you lower numbers, but that gives you an indication, quantifiable indication on where they would be on the spectrum in comparison to you. Other questions that you can ask is ask them about their relationship with the people that they love in their family, right? So just say, especially for men, you can ask them, what was your relationship like with your dad? How did that go? Men who have a warmer relationship with their fathers, they tend to be able to have a higher capacity for a healthy marriage. That's a pattern I've seen, right? That it's not 100%, but it is a general trend that I've seen. So that's something that could be reassuring if they tell you, I have a great relationship with my dad. He supported me through this, he supported me through that. It's we talk every day, etc. Another indicator is you can ask, how often do you guys say I love you in your family? Like with your parents, with your siblings? Are you guys verbally affectionate with each other? What does affection look like in your family? And all of that will give you a general picture in what this individual has been comfortable with so far and the people who are already in his life. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is a way to start to assess how their general comfort with affection and therefore connection eventually in the marriage, hopefully. Another a question that you can ask is, you can actually ask them, would you be comfortable taking the love language test? Right? So if I sent you a link, and there are probably hundreds, if not thousands of links available on the internet now, if you just type in love language test or love language quiz, you can ask them, if I sent that to you, how would you feel comfortable with taking that and letting me know what your results are? More important than their specific results is their willingness. If they indicate that, yeah, sure, I'd be happy to do that, and there isn't really pushback, that means that this person is at least willing to invest in this relationship, eventually marriage, right? One important thing that she mentioned, the sister here, in the things that she has noticed, is that she said, by emotional connection, I mean kind words, shared feelings, thoughtful compliments, or checking in on how my day went. That's the one that's important, right? So a lot of people might, as Muslims in a talking stage, they might shy away from compliments or overly kind words or flowery words because they're trying really hard to maintain that boundary.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you're in a talking stage as a man with a woman, you might shy away from saying, you know, you look very, you're super beautiful. You looked very beautiful the other day, etc., etc., etc. There's shyness there, and that's part of our fitra, part of our upbringing. Alhamdulillah. Um, so
It's
the
very expensive
what is expensive?
maintaining boundaries.
It really is, right?
Yeah.
So that
Like you got to buy an entire barn
how come?
and like very strong rope
Okay,
and cows.
boundaries. I knew it. Boundaries. Okay, so but so that with respect to the kind words, and even sharing how they feel, people are going to tend to shy away from this. Very few people who are have the same Muslim values that she has will likely shy away from saying, you know, I really love you, I care about you, I think about you all the time. That's not really how people are going to speak, right? However, the last one where she said checking in on how my day went, that is something that is within the bounds of our religion.
Yeah.
I would be concerned if I was in a talking stage with you for 4 months and you didn't really ask me, so how was your day?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So because that is a way to establish a level of emotional intimacy that is appropriate within the bounds of a Muslim talking stage.
Yeah.
Of saying, okay, salam alaikum, alaikum assalam. So how was your day? How's your day going? And if there are things that are going on in your life, for example, you're working on a project at school, or you're working on something for work, or maybe you haven't been feeling well, or God forbid a family member isn't feeling, just something that's on your mind that you're working on, and you talk about that each day, pay attention to whether or not they keep track of what's been going on in your life, and they ask you about it, they follow up on it, and they say, oh, you weren't feeling last week, you know, you had that bout of COVID or something. How are you feeling? How are you feeling now? Right?
Mm-hmm.
So that checking in on you, that concern is that concern should be there, especially after 4 months, right?
Yeah.
So she is right, in my opinion, to be concerned about the seeming lack of concern, or the seeming complete lack of connection, in my opinion. And it is a good idea for her to hold off until she sees a better indicator that that concern is there for her well-being, right? I know a lot of it was a little bit abstract. Did that make sense?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Communication is really important.
Yeah.
I have heard of this one person. They're actually pretty famous on the internet.
Okay.
Who had accidentally bumped into someone and knocked them down to the ground.
Okay.
And they wanted to say, I'm so sorry, as well as, are you okay? And they ended up saying, are you sorry?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Who's that person?
No, it's just floating around on the internet.
It's a meme?
Oh, yeah, but there's a swear word in there, so I censored it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right, so communication.
Yeah.
That's the connection.
Yeah.
But hopefully what I've been saying so far, that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Because out of the 4 things that you're trying to assess when you are looking for a spouse and you've met somebody that you've liked, right?
Yeah.
And we always say you need to pay attention to their character, to the compatibility, to their capacity, and to the connection itself. So compatibility, I've laid it out for you in a table. It's there. With respect to their character, I always say it's you have to decide for yourself whether or not this is somebody who, if you had a child the same gender as them, would you want your child to be like them?
Yeah.
So that is a sort of a blueprint that you follow in while observing this person, right?
If you're in the talking stage with AI, you got to watch out for their character limit.
Okay, all right. It's a good thing we're not in talking stages with AI so far.
Some people are.
Okay, hopefully nobody that's listening here. But so that's how you assess their character. We talked about compatibility. Connection and capacity are a little bit more abstract. Connection is more intuitive, right? Either you feel it or you don't feel it. And the sister here is not feeling it, right? With respect to connection, you are looking for a balance. You don't want something that's super intense. If something is being if the connection feels super intense, it's likely being manufactured. That's not what you want.
Yeah.
If it's at 0, there might be a compatibility issue there. Again, that's not what you want. You're looking for somewhere closer to the middle, right? Something balanced.
35 to 70%.
Okay, yeah, usually around 50 works, right?
Yeah.
Around 50%. And the overall impression that you're going to get that you like spending time with this person, that things are generally comfortable, even if they are a little bit boring, right? So it'll feel similar to your favorite friend or your favorite sibling. Don't tell which sibling is your favorite sibling, but your favorite friend or sibling, getting to know them all over again. So that feeling of just calm interest. That makes sense?
Yeah.
It'll feel like that level of connection. And there will be coded language that'll give you the indicators that that's what's good, that is there and it is present. And if that coded language isn't working and you want to do formal assessment, you can ask the questions that we talked about here on this podcast. So that's how you assess for connection. With respect to capacity, again, it's going to be very similar to assessing connection using the questions that we talked about. But that one is a little bit more abstract, a little bit more difficult. And honestly, I think I'm going to have to just do a whole episode on assessing capacity, inshallah, in the near future. Other than that, is there any questions? Do you think we've answered her questions?
I remember when people tell you that whenever you embarrass yourself,
Yes.
that others aren't going to remember it.
Mm-hmm.
I remember it.
Yeah. Just everyone? Or?
No, one specific person.
Oh.
We were in class. Mm-hmm. We had watched a program on marbles,
mm-hmm.
and then we watched a program on the Earth's crust. Teacher asked us, "What's the Earth's crust made of?" One student rose his hand and said, "Ooh, marbles."
Yeah.
I remember that day.
That's not good.
Fun times. 20 years ago. 20 years ago. I still remember.
Subhanallah.
I still remember.
What if he's listening?
He's not going to remember.
He's probably going to laugh.
He's had a lot more embarrassing moments.
Oh, no.
Yeah, overflowing.
He'll think you're talking about someone else.
Yeah, he's going to be like, who's that guy?
All right. On that happy note, it looks like we've answered her questions, inshallah. Again, I agree with her for her advice to just wait and hold off on saying yes until she is sure that some level of connection is there. Having said that, if you are still here and you've made it to this point to the podcast, Jazaa K'Allah Khayr, we really appreciate you choosing to spend your time with us. We understand how valuable that is. If you have subscribed to our channel, thank you so much. We really appreciate you. Each subscription makes a very big difference for us, and trying to get the podcast visible to the people, inshallah. And if you haven't subscribed and you found anything that we said useful, please consider subscribing. It would really help us out. If you haven't gotten your copy of the compatibility guide, please, there is a link in the description where you can get that. And finally, if you are single and a sister and you'd like some guidance on how to actually use the dating app safely and successfully, sign up for my live webinar entitled Dating App Strategies That Actually Work. There's only one a month, and the one this month is on November the 29th. Link for that is in the description below. So, Jazakallah Khair. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you guys next time. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.